Even the air stinks like human waste. Now I'm taking it all in when one guy points to me and he says...
Pointed at me and said, "Hey, Sergeant, you better get those stripes off." I said, "What do you mean? I earned these." And he says, "No, you got to take them off because the enemy is shooting the leaders first, and you're going to be a target when you get out there." As he was explaining this for me to take my stripes off, another guy came over and said, "Hey, come on, Jim, you know, let these guys be. They haven't been here yet. They don't know what it's like." Apparently, these guys have been there since the beginning of this battle that had been going on for 8 days. And then I started thinking back how we were at a picnic, drinking beer, while these poor bastards were going through this battle. I just felt awful. I wanted to get away from these guys because I didn't feel like I deserved to even be in their company.
As we settle in, I can hear these Vietnamese voices ringing out from the top of that hill. Now, nobody knows what they're saying, but the message is clear. They want us to know that they're there, and they're waiting for us.
As Wicknick and his company prepare for their assault up Hill 937, 15 miles to the west, American pilots are attempting to stop enemy advances into the south by going straight to the source of the problem, the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Although diplomatic policy prohibits U.S. ground troops from entering Laos and Cambodia, where the vast majority of the trail is located, U.S. aircraft are not restricted from bombing. Despite the relentless bombing, enemy movements along the Ho Chi Minh Trail prove impossible to stop. With more than 6,000 miles of paths, the NVA simply reroute themselves around damaged areas, while a crew of 100,000 North Vietnamese laborers work round the clock on maintenance and repair. The result is that enemy forces are able to move nearly 10,000 tons of supplies every month, forcing U.S. ground troops to try to stop them in an inhospitable landscape of endless jungle-covered hills.
Between the monsoon rain and the unbearable humidity, everyone's constantly soaked. It's bad enough we've already lost half a dozen men to the NVA. Now we're starting to lose them to jungle rot. Though after being stranded out here for 3 days, I suppose a little bad weather is the least of our problems.
23-year-old Marine Lieutenant Carl Marlantis is on Hill 400, 65 miles north of Arthur Wicknick. 3 days earlier, he and his company of 170 Marines set out to stop what they believed to be a group of 100 NVA crossing into the south via the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Instead, they stumbled into the path of an entire enemy regiment, numbering nearly 2,500.
Out here, in the middle of all this shit, it's hard to believe that just over a year ago I was at Oxford. I was only there about 5 or 6 weeks before I was feeling guilty.
There I was, sort of drinking beer and dating girls and having a very wonderful time. And my friends were over in Vietnam fighting. So I came to that point of all right, you know, I can't sit here. I sort of had this feeling I was hiding behind privilege. And I couldn't do that anymore. I just woke up one morning and I said, I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go to Vietnam. And now I'm stuck out here on some godforsaken hill. Another company's a few miles away, but the NVA have us surrounded. They're hitting us with
mortars all the time. We'd run out of water, even though it was a monsoon, and so we were trying to catch the fog in our ponchos and licking our ponchos to try and, you know, so we were in a desperate strait. And we had about 8 seconds of machine gun ammo left for each, and we divided everything evenly. We just divided everything evenly. And I remember just looking at a little patch of ground and thinking how wonderful it was just to see the earth, you know, and thinking about what will I miss, because I'll be dead.
For the first time in days, we can actually see clear skies.
Motor Kilo 6, they are off the landing zone.
Then the radio crackles to life, telling us the words we've been praying for. Choppers are on their way.
Marine Lieutenant Carl Marlantis is stranded atop Hill 400, near the Laotian border. After suffering heavy casualties during intense combat with an NVA force, he and his 170-man company have spent the past 3 days without food or supplies.
As soon as the wounded are taken care of, dozens of reinforcements start unloading cases of ammo and sea rations. God, I've never seen so many guys so happy for such a crappy meal. When I'm done eating, I head over to the skipper to get our new orders. But as he starts to speak, my entire body tenses up. He says most of the enemy's moved on, except for about 100 that are still dug into the next hill over, Hill 484. Then he says that since it was our company's job to stop the MVA in the first place, it should be our company's job to take 484 now. I can hardly believe my ears. I mean, we've been stuck out here for 3 days without supplies, and now they want us to continue the assault? But the decision's already been made. We attack at dawn. As we head out to get in position, all sorts of thoughts start running through my mind. Thinking about how we're gonna take the hill. If we do it this way...
Yeah, that's a good idea, but how about if we do it this way? Well, that'll work, but this will happen. And you just try as hard as you can to come up with a solution. And you realize that there's no solution that you'll be able to do it without losing people. And I can remember seeing a very vague outline of that hill above us in the darkness. And you just go like, you know, there's people up there that I don't know, and they don't know me. And we're, in the next hour or two, we're gonna be trying to kill each other. And you just sit there and you just shake your head and wonder. It's like, I'm gonna go through this. I'm not gonna turn around and walk away. You're gonna go up the hill. And at the same time,
you're wondering, why am I going up that hill? But I already know the answer. It's because I'm a Marine. And we don't let each other down.
The sun's just peeking up over the horizon. Men whisper quietly to one another. For a moment, it's almost oddly peaceful.
Sergeant Arthur Wicknick is at the base of Hill 937 in the Oshaw Valley. He and his company have joined a battalion that for the past 10 days has been attempting to take the hill. Today, they will begin their 10th and hopefully final assault.
And then the order comes down. Fix bayonets. We're gonna kill everyone we see. And if we run out of bullets, we're gonna stab them to death.
Come up on my left side so I can break right.
At 8 o'clock, U.S. pilots begin a 30-minute bombardment of Hill 937. At 8:30, every American firebase within range begins 90 minutes of intense preparatory fire. At 10 o'clock, the artillery falls silent, and the ground assault begins.